All right, everybody. Happy to see you guys came from the last session. So our next speaker is someone I've only met one time. And in just the first few moments of meeting her, she had already proved to me why I should have met her sooner. She's an expert in marketing. And all I know is when we do this next year, she will be involved from the very beginning. She's here on behalf of one of our most esteemed partners, the amazing people at AICPA, the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants. They are the largest organization in the world representing the accounting field, with over 700,000 members. Her and her team, including Tom Hood, Joanne Fior, and Nora Lacour, are leading the way, helping diverse talent get into the accounting field. They were just recently honored at the White House for having one of the most innovative apprenticeship programs in the country. We're honored to be working alongside them to change the world. And please join me in welcoming to the stage Surayyah Harris, Senior Director of Marketing at AICPA. You're good to go.
Brilliant. Okay. All right. Great. I think we're a go. All right. Well, thank you. Greetings, everyone. And thank you, Alfred. Welcome to Inspiration to Optimization, Crafting Career Pathways. I am Surayyah Harris, and I'm really, really excited to be with all of you here today. I'm here to speak to you today and share a bit about my own career path in hopes that you'll leave today's session with a relevant process and methodology to create your own successful career path. And my intention is to outline really how to assess the vision for your future and identify what you deserve as a professional in spaces where you may be underrepresented. So the theme of this conference centers on igniting the spark that will light up not only your career, but shine a light on the brilliance and uniqueness that only you can share with the world. And so I want to talk to you about how important it is to connect to those ignited moments that inspire ideas, creativity, and overall a successful path. How to make the most of those moments in your career and to nurture them to your benefit. I hope to address how you turn that ignited inspiration into aligned choices that optimize your outcomes throughout your professional career. And so I really want to begin with a question. When was the first time you felt that spark of brilliance ignite and inspire you to pursue the path that you're on today? Because between that first spark and where you're seated at today, there was intention, perhaps to achieve, or maybe even a hope to impact your family, your community, or the world by following this path, right? And I know my own professional story is full of ignited moments. My first ignited moment was caused by my parents. They really nurtured in me a love for books and stories about communities and issues that are relevant to me. And I was really hungry to see myself reflected back on the screens and the pages of my life. So this sparked an interest in documenting stories through video and photography that spanned several years. And because of that moment, my selection of an education path in media occurred. The second ignited moment for me was as a film major and a college student. I'd really been struggling to tell the stories of students through film. And the increasing switch over to digital was changing the landscape of traditional media. And so I realized that identifying underrepresented voices and stories wasn't enough. It was important to have the power to influence narrative. And so it wasn't enough to just identify issues. There had to be someone in decision rooms, right, to say why those issues were important and to assert data and supportive factors of the reality that students like me were experiencing. So this moment really ignited an interest in shaping narrative and really understanding the motivating factors for the decisions that people make and the power to influence individuals and groups and communities into action. So marketing seemed the right fit. Marketing really has at its foundation a promotion of narratives around products and services, right? But I really leaned into marketing's ability to shape narrative and raise awareness, to collect that data, to prove points and put solutions, brands, services in the faces of the people for them to reject or accept. And so being a leader in digital marketing and e-commerce spaces has been a really promising area, not only for me, but for other Black professionals under the pillar of STEM for its growth and creative opportunities. And so having our voices in decision rooms is crucial to those voices, interests, and influences, making an impact. The third biggest ignited moment for me professionally was created by a need for a personal strategy. Now, not all ignited moments that spark successful paths appear positive at first. And one of the most significant moments of my career involved an unwanted transition. And by this time I was married, I had 2 small children, and my managing director resigned. And I felt like I was the most likely candidate for her replacement. I was very qualified. I had, an MBA. I was, I felt like I was on the right track. However, I was passed over for the role, and I felt completely deflated. Not only was I passed over, but I was passed over for someone with less experience, less education, who didn't look like me, right? And I felt that I had no voice and no place as a Black professional. I felt overlooked. I felt discouraged. And for a little while, I checked out of my own ability to create personal change. So I really felt vulnerable and lost at that point. And I was deflated that the hard work that I had contributed to that point wasn't really good enough to advance me into a role that I felt would have been a win for me personally and a benefit to my family's income. It was a really crucial professional moment for me. And a critical choice was in front of me at that time, to either continue on a path, struggling to prove to those who didn't see my value that I was worthy of staying in a job that I had outgrown, or I could inspire myself into a new direction. And I realized that I needed a personal strategy and a process to ignite myself into a new direction. And this decision fundamentally changed the course of my life. Now, how? I really dislike when speakers share the happy ending part of the story, but not the how. And so I want to outline how I turned this around and created a strategic process to really ignite my own spark and align with allowing my professional brilliance to shine. And so I realized that I had to really connect the dots of all of my ignited moments to define the actions and choices that spoke to what I should do next, right? I asked myself how I can make a choice aligned to my desired outcome. And here's how I did that. The first thing I did was to define the areas of my life that really had to be considered from my past experience and my future needs. So, what were my prior choices telling me about what I needed for my career and for my professional life? And did that path really reflect what I wanted for my future? Next, I refined all of the connections I had made and asked myself, what do I require? Right? Understanding our requirements is really important. And so I created categories of my life that required undeniable consideration and were really important for me to have the professional life that I wanted. Categories like family, work-life balance, financial and savings goals, workplace environment. And so I made an actual list of what I required with my next choice. I was specific to my needs, and I was really honest about what I was seeking. And I made the list as statements of what I require. And I've shared some of the examples here, right? These are actual requirements that I had on my list. So, I require a salary that allows me to support my children alone if need be. I require a role that allows me the freedom to travel at the company's expense. I require a role in which my talents and skills are valued and amplified. I require a role where I can flexibly work and prioritize my home life and family needs appropriately. I require a role that upskills me in marketing and e-commerce on a consistent and relevant basis. And so I stated those requirements, and I did 3 key things to kind of align those requirements and choices to be ready to meet the moment when it presented itself. And first, I prepared the way, right? I refreshed my resume. I reached out to contacts, my friends, college network. Preparing the way is really about leveraging your visible platforms to refine and align to the presentation of your most brilliant self. Secondly, I honored the intention of my strategic refocus. I only applied for roles that met my requirements. It's really important. I didn't get distracted by opportunities that had no potential of aligning to what I wanted. And finally, I stayed adaptable and open. And really, really staying adaptable and open to how those requirements were met, right? I didn't fixate or limit myself to a particular industry. As long as my focus and skill set of marketing e-commerce and talents could shine, I was open to it. And now each of you probably will have different areas to focus on, right? That help you align to your own individual requirements and to successfully prime that path of success, right? So the goal is really to align to the requirements that you have for yourself and make sure that your own personal integrity is intact with that. So I like to talk about results, right? Results those proof points of what we do and seeing if it really proves out, right? And so as a result of this process, within 5 months, I had an offer that met 90% of my requirements. And as a part of that, there were travel opportunities that weren't quite as frequent as I would have liked. The salary was about $10,000 off, but with incentives that made the total offer align to my requirements list. I stayed in that role for about 2 years and I learned everything I could. And I updated my list of requirements again for the next opportunity should it come along. And 2 years later, my manager in that role resigned and then nominated me to fill her position, which immediately increased my salary. After being in that role for a few months, I reset my requirements again and applied for a role outside of that company that had more travel, higher pay, and aligned fully to my requirements. And so I've repeated this exercise again and again to ignite myself into change and to optimize with my results every time I wanted change. This can apply to your career. It can also apply to other areas of your life, right? But it's really helped me to define, refine, and align my career to the most valuable areas of my life beyond, my professional career. And so, this approach of igniting my own spark of inspiration and creativity has really transformed my thinking of what's possible for my career. And I encourage each of you to look at your approach to what motivates you, what ignites that spark, what makes your professional journey worthwhile. You have the power to define, refine, and align your requirements and choices, and to have the most optimal experience from your career. So view your path from a position of empowerment, excitement, passion, and intention. So often we focus on the limitation of being Black and brilliant in professional spaces, but so much is possible for each of us to have the success we want and to craft a career path for ourselves. And as a Black woman in marketing, in digital spaces, and STEM affiliated industries, it is especially important to my own role in encouraging diverse voices to be heard and represented. I'm really, really tied to that. And I remain committed to believing in the impact of influencing narratives of what it means to be a Black professional in fields like STEM and leveraging the abundance of talent that's represented by all of you. And so I do want to share some opportunities specific to the AICPA that may be a great opportunity for many of you out there. At the association, I work diligently with my colleagues to amplify opportunities in accounting and finance for over 700,000 CPAs, CGMAs, and engaged professionals in adjacent sectors all over the world. And so student membership in our AICPA and CIMA student community is free and provides access to career tools and resources for students interested in accounting and finance. We actually have monthly webinars for student members which are always free. Our last one was in AI and accounting, which was really interesting, and the recording is available on our website. The next one will be about a career and business evaluation in October. And so the sign up is right there at the top for students and educators. We also cover areas like forensic accounting, careers in tax and audit, ESG, sustainability, crypto accounting, and much more. There are scholarship opportunities that come with student membership and will be open for applications in December. So I encourage any students interested to sign up via those links provided on the screen. The second big opportunity I want to highlight is our newly launched Career Launchpad. It is open to all our student members. And certainly, I definitely encourage you, any college student at an early career stage, to check it out. Career Launchpad includes over an hour of interviews with CPAs from across industries who share their why with you, right? They talk about why they chose accounting, what they do every day, even how much they make. And participants will earn up to 3 digital badges that you can post on your LinkedIn profile. So I encourage you to check these resources out as well that are offered by the association. In closing, I want to thank BLYNK and Sisters in STEM for creating this platform and for the collective conversation on how we can uplift and empower, underrepresented professionals across the globe. And I would love to hear from any of you and take any questions that you might have for me. That's what I'm here for. So thank you.
Yeah, definitely, Surayyah. That was an amazing session. A lot of great information about how to craft your career pathway. And truthfully, that's exactly what we're doing with Black Sis and BLYNK together. is making that easier. So I'm happy that she was able to speak on that, you know, and it's really important that you lay out that path, because if you're not clear on it and you just kind of going with the flow, your career is not the one place you want to do that. You want to make sure you have that planned out, and you want to make sure you have it written down. So I'm happy that you went through all that. If you guys have any questions, you can put them in the chat. It's the Q&A section, and we have time for about one question maybe. So yeah. All right. I mean, I don't see any specific questions, so hey, this is y'all chance. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. No, it's fine. I know it's kind of hard being on the spot. Just continue to, I see people saying, you know, think big, and they're interested in results. I think results is key, right? Continue to track your results, continue to do what works, and repeat that process again and again. If you find a solution and a process that works for you, definitely make sure that you are implementing it. Don't be afraid to enhance it, to upgrade yourself. Don't be afraid to shine, right? And so I'm really excited about the platform that Alfred and his team are creating with BLYNK and Black Sisters in STEM. And hopefully we can continue the conversation, right, as things move forward, and create a better process for all of us as Black professionals.
Yeah, we need to have you promoting it for us. That's exactly what I want.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Surayyah.